Good evening, and welcome to another edition of Fantasy Friday. I've previously shot my start-sit segments on Wednesday and Thursday, so today what I'd like to do is just basically just give you some of the injury report and some of the news for Week 7 of the NFL, and then just run down the games this week, give you my prediction, and that'll be it. But before I start, I do want to thank my cousin Courtney Triggs for pointing out a mistake I made in a previous segment. I said that San Francisco was the road team last week. San Francisco was actually the home team. So again, thank you, Courtney Triggs. Thank you, Courtney Triggs. I said your name 3 times. I hope you're happy, cuz. But really, again, I really appreciate that, cuz. Really do. So first and foremost, big news, Dallas Clark is out for the season. I also read somewhere Austin Collie had surgery on his hand, and so be looking to fill those gaps. I would recommend picking up Blair White. That's in another segment, but just thought I'd drop that in there. Dallas Clark is out for the season. Austin Collie did have surgery on his hand. Colt McCoy expected to get his second start this week. Had a fairly decent game last week. 23 for 33 of passing, 281 yards, 1 touchdown. One touchdown, 2 interceptions against Pittsburgh. Can't ask for much more from a rookie. I know they've seen promise in him. They wouldn't have drafted him so high. 3rd round is high. They wouldn't have drafted him that high if they didn't think he had promise. Good luck to him this week going against New Orleans. Hope he does well. Josh Cribbs from the Cleveland Browns cleared to play from that jarring hit Harrison gave him this past week. He is cleared to play. Massaquoi is not cleared to play. Likely will miss the game against New Orleans, but Josh Cribbs is cleared to play. Steve Smith practiced this week. He's listed as probable as of today. However, he is expected to be inserted in the starting lineup come Sunday against San Francisco at home. So expect Steve Smith to play. Wide receiver Dez Bryant has also practiced this week, coming back from that injury, high ankle sprain, He is expected to play against the Giants. If you have him, I would flex him out. I necessarily wouldn't put him in the starting wide receiver if you can. But again, save that for another segment. But Dez Bryant is cleared to play. Looks like he's going to play this week at home against the Giants on Monday night. Vince Young continues to be day-to-day. Did not practice today. Kerry Collins has been taking all the first string snaps, so just keep your eye on that. He is a game time decision, but as of right now on Friday, it looks like Kerry Collins is going to be the entrenched starter for Week 7. Okay, David Garrard is back on the team. He's not going to fly this week. Trent Edwards had a thumb issue. Starting quarterback for the Jaguars is going to be Todd Bowman this week. Todd Bowman. Yes, I know. So be looking at that game. I said some things earlier about who you should start and who you should sit, who happened to be on the Jags team. Also, who you should start. They play Kansas City on the road at Kansas City this week. But Todd Bowman is going to be the starting quarterback for the Jacksonville Jaguars this week. Ed Reed, and this will be my last one, Ed Reed is possibly going to be activated this week if Zibikowski is continued to be out from that bruised heel, which he suffered a couple weeks ago. Look for Ed Reed to come off the physically unable to perform list. Again, that's the news and the injury reports for Week 7 presented to you by Roderick Blair. That's me. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, we'll always be coming back with our start-sit segment, but again, today for Fantasy Friday, thought I'd like to do something a little different. So let's move on to the predictions. I think that's what everybody's concerned about other than fantasy football. Who do you think is going to win the game? So first up, Cincinnati at Atlanta. Cincinnati's defense right now is ranked 18th against the rush, 111 yards a game. Against the pass, they're 13th, 206 yards a game. Their offense, they're ranked 7th. Offensively with the pass, almost 250 yards a game, but they're ranked 18th, kind of bottom of the barrel as it relates to rush offense with only 103 yards a game. Atlanta, 239, giving up 239 yards a game for the pass. They're ranked 9th against the run, almost 98 yards a game. Offensively, Atlanta's 7th offensive with the run, averaging almost 135 yards a game. They're 17th offensively in the pass, 233 yards a game. My prediction, it's going to be a shootout. I really think it's going to be a shootout, but I think Atlanta pulls it out at home. Prediction, honestly, I think about 31-24, Atlanta's favor. It's my prediction. Moving on to an NFC battle, Washington at Chicago. Washington defense right now it's terrible. Their rush defense, they're giving up almost 122 yards a game, which ranks them 24th in the league. They're giving up almost 300 yards a game in passing, which ranks them only above the Houston Texans. So you know how terrible their defense is. Offensively, however, they're ranked 9th in passing yards a game with 245 a game. They're ranked 25th rushing offensively with only 93 yards a game. Chicago. Chicago's currently ranked 3rd in defense against the rush, giving up only 84 yards a game. They're 18th, middle of the road in pass defense with about 221 yards a game. Offensively, the numbers not really there, but a win is a win. However, passing yardage for their offense is about 102.90 yards a game, which ranks them 22nd in the league. Rushing attack, they're 26th in the league with averaging only 92.3 yards a game. My prediction for this game, I think Washington pulls it out in a close one. I think it'll be 17-14, Washington on the road. Just my prediction. Moving on, St. Louis at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay 31st against the rush, 16th against the pass. Offensively, they're 18th against offensively rushing the ball. They're 19th passing the ball with about 210 yards a game. St. Louis's defense, they're giving up about 228 yards a game in passing, which makes them about 20th in the league as far as defense. They're middle of the pack on their rush defense with about 100, giving up only 105 yards rushing a game. That's pretty good. Offensively for the Rams, they're 19th in passing yardage with only 210 yards, but that's promise for Bradford, who's making his rookie start. I think that's promise. Rushing yards, they're about 17th, again, middle of the pack with 104 yards a game. My prediction this week, St. Louis, I think it's going to be a 2-score game, about 34-14. Look for Jackson across the goal line 2 to 3 times this game, again, with Tampa Bay's rush defense, 31st in the league. I expect Steven Jackson to have a big game. 34-14, St. Louis. Moving on. San Francisco at Carolina this week. San Francisco's defense is ranked 11th. Their pass defense is ranked 11th in the league with only 201 yards a game. They're 19th against the rush with 111 yards, giving up 111 yards a game, I should say. Offensively, their passing yardage is 15th, so they're middle of the road. You know, they're almost about halfway mark as it relates to their offense with 226 yards, passing yards a game. They are at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to rushing attack with 91.2 yards a game, which ranks them 28th in the league as rushing. Carolina, the home team, 5th in passing defense, 182 yards a game. They're 26th in rushing defense, giving up almost 135 yards a game. Offensively, they're dead last in the passing yardage with 136 yards a game. Dead last. They're middle of the pack against rush offense, 99.6 yards a game, which makes them 20th. Even though they're 5th against the pass, I just think Alex Smith is going to have a good game this day, especially with them ranking so terrible in the rush. Look for them to stop Frank Gore. I think the 49ers win this one, gives them 2 wins. Carolina falls to 0-6. San Francisco wins this one 28-17. My prediction. Moving on, Buffalo at Baltimore. Buffalo's currently ranked 10th against the pass defense, giving up 200 yards a game, but they rank dead last against the run, giving up almost 183 yards a game. Offensively for Buffalo, they rank 31st in passing yardage with 144 yards a game. They rank 16th in rush with 106 yards a game. Defensively for Baltimore, who's the home team in this game, they're 3rd in passing yards, only limiting their offenses rather to 175 yards a game. Their rush yards, they're giving up only 105 yards a game. They're 13th in the league against the rush. As far as Baltimore's offensive numbers, they're 16th offensively with the pass, about 225 yards a game. Rushing attack, they're 15th in the league with about 112 yards a game. My predictions, not a hard one. Baltimore wins this one running away. I really think it'll be 30-10, personally. Ray Rice has a big day. Joe Flacco has a big day. Baltimore at home.